Everybody, welcome. You're hanging out with Ben. This is the Hardcore Punk Project here on the X 92.5 FM in Kamloops. Today we have Osyron joining us. Osyron is a Canadian progressive symphonic metal band based in Calgary. The group consists of lead vocalist Reed Alton, who is joining me today, guitarists Christoph Stahlmach and Bobby Harley, bassist Tyler Corbett, and drummer Cody Anstey. They are bridging the gap between traditional European metal and the music of their homegrown contemporaries, creating a whole sound of their own in the process. Thanks for joining me today. How's it going over there?
It's going really well. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. We'll be talking about the upcoming album Momentous and a few other things too.
Sounds good.
Well, do you know what the best part is about being a radio host?
What's that?
It's getting to listen to the stuff before it comes out, which was the case here.
And what'd you think?
It's good.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Well, the first song up is Anunnaki. If I remember correctly, the Anunnaki are ancient Mesopotamian deities, and how did they inspire the song?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of two things. One was during COVID, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I've always been a history nerd, and I've always been fascinated with like ancient religions. I've also been fascinated with the possibility of extraterrestrial life in the universe, and just on my own personal interests and curiosities. And so with that, I kind of delved into some learning about the Anunnaki, the ancient Sumerians, Mesopotamia, and I guess more or less the song is more so inspired by the fact that there's so many beliefs and so many origin stories and so many religions that have been kind of pushed aside or brushed over or lost to history because there's always been dominating groups or people that come in there and erase history of certain groups of people. So the song is pays homage to and is in kind of correlation with Anunnaki, ancient Sumerian and Mesopotamian beliefs, but it's more so just to do with trying to pay homage to the fact that we need to hold on and keep our history and learn about ancient cultures and what makes us human. What makes us ancient humans and modern humans.
All right. Now, a lot of the metal artists that I have spoken with have some form of opera vocal training. Is this apply to you as well?
You know what? I've never taken a vocal lesson. I did do a lot of musical theater growing up, so that kind of helped with my singing style, especially the more operatic part of my singing. But I'm just like I'm old school, man. I listen to a bunch of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Queensryche, all that stuff, and all the older kind of 70s and 80s and 90s bands. And I was just like, this is what I want to do. So I just try to emulate that. And I think with the help from musical theater, it just kind of helped shape my voice and allow me to figure it out.
All right. Why do you think metal isn't as popular as the other genres that exist?
I think because it's got qualities and aspects of it that it's less likely people are going to go down that route or take the time to kind of get into those genres or kind of discover those genres, because pop music, being popular and maybe forms of rock, forms of rap, what have you. I think a lot of these genres, or country even, I think a lot of these genres are easier to get into. So you don't have to put as much time into delving deeper and deeper into the discographies, into the genres, where the genres go. It's the same thing that jazz has experienced now, and forms of blues and underground genres. So I mean, I kind of like it that way. I'd rather it be. I don't want it to ever be mainstream. As soon as metal goes mainstream, I think I'm going to start singing and doing something else.
Well, I think metal's already starting to go mainstream because of Stranger Things.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. It's that's what was that? Only Metallica, right? Metallica's already kind of been a mainstream metal band anyways. So I think it's just younger people rediscovering a popular form of metal that's already been around for about 30 plus years.
Yeah, I know, but TikTok is kind of ruining it and all that.
Well, hopefully, because TikTok's just more of a fad kind of thing and a very, spur of the moment, that it blows over and it doesn't become too mainstream. That's my hope.
My dog is shedding all over the place.
Oh, you have a shedding dog? What kind of dog do you have?
Yeah, he's right over here beside me off camera, and I can just see hair flying everywhere.
What kind of dog do you have?
Um, there he is right here.
Oh, beautiful. What's your dog's name?
His name's Apollo.
Apollo. All right, awesome.
He's a Jack Terrier and Poodle mix.
Beautiful. That's fantastic.
Some ways more than one. Next song up is Dominion Day. Does this song have something to do with the British Empire?
You know what? It doesn't necessarily directly relate to that. I mean, we all know, well, not everyone, but Canada Day used to be called Dominion Day, and because we used to be a dominion, right, of the British Empire, which you've alluded to already. But it's more so just touching about touching on the fact of what we're celebrating, why we celebrate, and that doesn't just mean Canada. That means any culture, any country, and what are we celebrating? I mean, there are many things that we should celebrate, and then there's many things that we've overlooked and kind of suppressed and kind of ignored in lieu of celebration. So it's more so not directly correlated with our country, but it's inspired by our country.
All right. As a Canadian artist, how do you feel how hard is it to have your music recognized internationally?
I feel it's a little easier internationally as a metal artist than it is in Canada. I mean, just because metal is a little not as prominent in Canada as it is in some other countries on Earth. Not to say that there isn't great metal here or that there's great metal scenes or there's lots of metal fans. It's just not as prominent, as it is in Europe or parts of Latino America or Japan and other places. So I'd say it's difficult because it's hard to get anywhere far, right, from our country because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of travel. But because of the internet, because of how things go, I think it's easier for Canadian metal bands to get discovered now overseas than it ever has been. So I think that's a good thing.
You mentioned Japan. Japan has a pretty strange music scene, but it's strange in a good way.
Yep.
I'm
sure.
looking at you, Hanantarash. Yeah, what I mean is that they were a noise band and they used to do pretty extreme things during their live set. I think one of them actually brought out like a whole freaking bulldozer onto the stage at one point.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I think the audience had to sign a contract that said that they were not liable for getting hurt during the band's performances.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's Japan, what else can I say? What is the most unique thing you have ever seen or done?
In regards to what?
Just in general.
In general, what's the most unique thing or I've seen? Well, I guess a unique thing is this last summer, not this summer of this year, but last year, one of the guitarists in Osyron, Krzysztof, he got married, and because it was during COVID, they wanted to do a small ceremony and live stream it. So they actually got me to get a temporary one-day license to wed them. So I officiated their wedding and got to help be a part of the process to get those two married, Krzysztof and Jess. So that's a very unique experience, something that first comes to my mind, but I'm sure there's other stuff.
All right. Next song is The Deafening. I honestly, I was really wanting to skip this one at first because I've been dealing with a nasty ear infection for like the past 2 weeks at this point.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm still having it right now. But what can you say about this one?
The Deafening is definitely a song because of the people we have featured, in Stu Block, who is of Into Eternity Annihilator fame, and is a fellow Canadian, and then as well as Percival, who are a successful Polish band that does folk and traditional orchestral music, and have done stuff for video games like The Witcher 3, which is pretty cool. I think having those artists on the song just made it that much more special for us because it's a song that means a lot to the band. It means a lot to me. I mean, it's about internal struggling, doubting oneself. I mean, as artists and especially as people, we doubt ourselves a lot. And having Stu being that other voice that's in the song, that him and I kind of have that battle, I guess you could say. It really just makes this song come together beautifully and really get the message across the way we wanted it to. So it's a very special song for us.
All right. Now, where has the weirdest place you've ever recorded vocals during the pandemic?
The weirdest place I ever recorded vocals during the pandemic?
Yes.
I guess it'd be probably my basement, because I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable recording vocals in my basement. I like to go elsewhere. I don't like being in my home recording. So that was a little weird. That was that wasn't comfortable for me.
I spoke with Mark Jansen from Epica. I'm not sure if you've heard of them.
Yep.
But he said he recorded vocals in a walk-in closet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's cool.
What is the weirdest place you have ever played a show at?
Probably the bottom of a church. I've played in the bottom of a church before with a one-off project. It was like we did 3 songs, like a 3-song EP. It was very experimental, very proggy. They were called the Red Onion Jelly, and we just played in the basement of a church. It was really weird, but it was cool.
All right. What is one thing guaranteed to make you laugh?
Probably one of my youngest brothers. His name is James. For whatever reason, that there's random stuff that guy says or does that just absolutely makes me piss my pants. Like, I don't know what it is. It might because he's silly. I don't know what it is, but there's many times where he'll do something or say something that absolutely makes me lose my shit.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing that's guaranteed to make me laugh, especially in music, is just sudden screaming out of nowhere that gets cut off.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like, there's this one song by the Melvins, don't know if you've heard of them,
yep,
from the Houdini album called Joan of Arc, and there's this one part of the song where Buzz does a scream, and it just sends me over the top every time.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? I love that there's bands that take creative choices and do weird stuff, and sometimes at the expense of making people laugh or whatever, but I love that, people make those creative choices and whatnot.
All right. Next song is Landslide. What's this one about?
This one was just kind of inspired by veterans who, after they're done serving for their country and after they're done going to war, they come back into society, and a lot of them deal with a lot of personal issues and struggles, and sometimes don't get the respect that they deserve, or aren't allowed to integrate back into society because they feel, from what I imagine, different or like an outsider. So it's more inspired by about those individuals who I support, and I know that it's not their choice where they go. It's not their choice what they have to do. Someone else tells them they do it, but they go out there and they do it anyway. And it's admirable, and it's heavy, and I have a lot of respect for someone who's willing to do that.
All right. If you were to have a tattoo to tell the story behind your music and your band, what would it look like?
That's a really good question. I've never had that asked before. I've got a few number of tattoos, but in regards to music, I don't know. Maybe I'd try and incorporate a piece that had to do with some of my influences, and then as well as maybe some album artwork, maybe something of some of the records that I've been a part of, and find a way to integrate them into one piece that doesn't necessarily come across very, I don't know, apparent or very self-explanatory. It'd be something deeper with more meaning, and people would ask about it. I could explain it.
All right. Is there one life-altering event that has changed your life for the good?
Yeah, I've got two. One would be when my partner convinced me to get a dog, because getting a little creature that's like my little son was definitely a big moment for me, putting life into perspective and putting some new responsibility and ownership on myself. And then the other one would be when I was about 14. I was at my cottage and I slipped off the dock, and I tore my foot, and I missed hockey tryouts. And that was the year that I auditioned for my first musical, and was when I found out that I could sing. So I'd say that because I missed hockey tryouts, missed going for AAA, it allowed me the opportunity to explore an avenue of myself that I never knew that I could do. And well, the rest is history, as they would say.
All right. Next song is Sorrow and Extinction. When I first heard this, I was like, okay, we're getting a little mellow now. I don't mind. I could use a little rest. I guess it's kind of showing how diverse you guys are.
Thank you.
What's this one about?
Sorrow and Extinction actually is inspired by a late friend of mine, an ex-bandmate. He passed away about 6 years ago, six and a half years ago. And one of the records that he always loved was Sorrow and Extinction by the band Pallbearer. And this song is just kind of talking about mortality and kind of accepting the fact that us as humans, we don't live forever, and that we should value and cherish the moments we have on earth. And it's that bittersweetness of knowing that we have life, which is beautiful and that we should cherish, but also knowing that we are mortal, and it does come to an end.
All right. Everybody is terrible at something. What are you terrible at?
What am I terrible at? Probably running. I suck at running. I'm decent at skating, but I suck at running. And then what else? Yeah, I'm probably just sitting down and actually just reading a book. That seems to be so difficult for me. I love to read, but sitting down and finding time to read a book is probably one of the most difficult things.
I suck at emotions.
Emotions?
Yeah, I have a very hard time handling mine.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, the emotions are tough to handle in general.
What's a pickup line that actually worked for you? Not like I'm going to use this for advice or anything.
Well, I don't know if I have a pickup line that's ever worked for me. I've always kind of been a little awkward and dorky when it comes to that avenue. So even if I had one, yeah, are you raising your hand because you're the same?
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, for me, I think I wouldn't be able to give you one that would be good or even remotely close to something you could use or would be worth telling. So I don't know.
That's all right. Next song is Beyond the Sun, and I thought this was going to be an Yngwie Malmsteen cover at first. Because, he has a song called Far Beyond the Sun.
Yeah, well, we only covered half of it. That's why we took out half the name.
What's this song about?
Beyond the Sun, I've always described it as just a love song. Finding something larger than yourself or beyond oneself, and what's always been there for mankind has been the sun, and looking beyond there and past that, something that's larger than that. I mean, I think that is indescribable, and in many ways, love is indescribable. So I think it's more of a love song, and that could be towards someone or something or yourself.
All right. What is a social cause that concerns you a lot?
Social cause? I have a couple. One would definitely be mental illness and homelessness within our country. I've toured around a fair amount and have seen most of this country, at least in the major cities, and it's always constant. And it's always there, and it's an issue. And I don't know if we've done enough or if we're doing the right things to deal with it. Maybe there's different things we should be trying that I don't think we have. And then as well as First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. Their history is pretty pretty dramatic and traumatic, and I still think we have a long way to go in our country for that.
All right. What are some of your other passions other than music?
Hockey. Hockey. And languages. I've been teaching myself Spanish over the last year. I love languages and I love hockey, but hockey for sure.
I had to teach myself another language to listen to a band I like.
What language is that?
I had to teach myself Finnish.
Really? What band were you listening to?
Heavy Saurus.
Oh, I don't know them. That's cool though.
Finnish kids metal band.
Okay. Cool.
Next song is Awake. What's this one about?
This one's the most personal track on the album for me, personally, and it's inspired by someone that I love very much, who was going through dementia and slowly succumbing to that disease and eventually did. So it's it's more of a snapshot of how I was feeling personally during that time as that person was going through that.
All right. Now, if you were offered $100 a month to put a bumper sticker on your car that proclaims your love for pop music, would you do it?
Sure, I could use an extra $100.
Yeah, me too, even though I hate pop music.
Yeah, no, same here, man. Like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. I'll take a couple of the bumper stickers. I'll throw them on all my vehicles. I don't care.
Yeah, I think I do the same.
Cool.
Can you tell us the things that you're grateful for?
I'm grateful for my partner, Jordan, my dog, Zeppelin, my family, my friends, and my bands, and that I'm alive, and I'm still doing what I'm doing, and I'm pursuing my dream.
All right.
And grateful for this interview too. You're asking some really good questions.
Next song is Momentous. What's this one about?
This one just kind of encompasses the theme or the inspiration of the entire album, because the album's obviously called Momentous, and the song is the longest song we've ever done. It's like 12-13 minutes long, something like that, and it's just kind of going through the emotions and the ups and downs of what I think most people went through during COVID and during the pandemic. You know, I mean, all the struggles, the introspective moments, the highs, the lows, everything. So it's just to do with the overall thematic theme of overcoming what we overcame as societies and as individuals. And it's a very momentous occasion. It's a very momentous moment in our lives.
All right. Well, it looks like I didn't realize I had only like 20 minutes to do this, and I went way over time. But I have a few more questions before we go.
Sure.
If someone was to make a movie about your band, who would you like to play you?
Ooh, well, if that ever happens, I hope I'm really old. I hope, or I'm dead, because I don't want to have a movie made about me while I'm still doing my thing. Because if I feel like when they make movies about people, it's because they're long past their heyday and they're long past their popularity. So I hope I'm really old and retired, or I'm dead. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if there was a reincarnated like Daniel Day-Lewis, 50 years down the road, because I think he'd be able to study me, study my personality and who I was, and be able to nail it. Because I don't know. I hope it's someone who's not even born yet.
The only person I think of when I look at you is Shavo Dodgen from
Who's that?
The bass player from System of a Down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
Okay,
braided beard.
Yeah. Well, this is fairly new. I've only been doing this for about a year, not even. So.
All right. And if you were to be if you were put in a comic book, would you be the hero or the villain?
The hero.
Finally,
100%.
someone who hasn't picked the villain.
100% I'd be the hero. I'd kick every villain's ass, man. I wouldn't even think twice about it.
All right. Now, this is the last question I ask all the bands I interview, and that's, will you accept a challenge from me?
100%. What do you got?
I see you've already done a cover of the Canadian national anthem, so I have to take you back to the 1970s. You have to do a cover of Anne Marie's Snowbirds from 1970.
Holy crap. Okay, now does this have to be a band thing or can it just be me?
Yes,
What does it have
it's a
to be?
band. It has to be a band thing.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll add it to a list because we've got a couple of covers that we want to do over the next 6 months. So Snowbird by Anne Marie. Sounds good.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks very much, Ben. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this interview and all the great questions you've asked. And I hope everyone is healthy and okay. And if you're going to check out Osyron, you can always look us up. There's no one else that has our name or it's spelled like us, and it's Osyron. And all of our social media, our Spotify, our website, our Bandcamp, our merch, everything is there. So give us a like, a follow, and hopefully we'll come to your city soon.
Well, I live in a minor city that is named like a major city, Kamloops.
I've been to Kamloops, and we're hopefully going to be coming through Kamloops soon. So keep
All right,
a lookout
cool.
for that. Yeah, keep a
Try to
lookout for
play
that.
at the Bridgeview Theater because I can't go to any other venues.
All right, we'll keep that in mind.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for joining me once again, and hope you have a good day too. Stay safe, be well.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you.